Hey everybody, welcome to the Always Out of Market podcast. Your favorite white boys. We are here today to talk about the NFL games of week 3 games, and we got some juicy stuff today. Little injury-prone teams. Got our usual picks. Some crazy games happened last week with our picks. We'll see what happened there. Our fantasy is going red hot, except for Steven's team. So all of that to come. I guess, Jason, you want to kick it off with news?
Sure. But before I do that, I want to say you said Steven's team's not red hot, but he has a lot of red on his team right now.
That's true. It's a good point.
I've also had to drop several people. And the thing that frustrated me the most about fantasy is the fact that I was so happy. The one good thing about me being terrible is that I was first in priority for the waivers, and Puka Nacua is hot right now. But then, as soon as I get him, he gets a questionable on his name, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So, if he doesn't play, I'm pissed, because I was like, I need a good wide receiver.
I think he'll play.
I hope so.
20 points like he has been, so.
Oh. All right, go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
All right. First thing we have is Bears defensive coordinator Alan Williams resigned in the middle of the week. There's a bunch of shit going on with the Bears right now that we really don't know anything about. The FBI showed up apparently at someone's house at the Bears organization, and they had $100,000 worth of equipment stolen from their facilities. Their defensive coordinator resigned, and the football team sucks. So, a lot going on for them.
I think it's really interesting.
You love to see it.
Oh yeah, of course he loves it. No, I think the thing I don't understand. We talked about it, that there's always teams that will go above and below your expectations, of course, as the season starts up. But like the Bears, it's like, come on, y'all finally have something to look forward to, and y'all still suck. I don't know, and then now they lost a coach and everything too, so they're just crumbling right out of the gate.
Yeah, I was honestly I was thinking that this is the Bears' year almost, not the Bears' year. They weren't going to win the Super Bowl, but I was like, they're going to actually do decent this year, I think, and then just not at all. Haven't shown up.
Shout out to me getting. Oh, go ahead.
I never understood the hype behind the Bears. What did they do to make people think that they were going to be good this season?
They upgraded.
Go ahead.
I was say they upgraded their offensive line. They upgraded their wide receiver core, and everybody thought that Justin Fields was finally going to be Justin Fields.
That was my reason. I thought Justin Fields was finally going to actually come into his own this year.
That's what the hype came from, was all of those adjustments that they made in the offseason.
Well, and it was also the draft. The draft, especially them trading back with the Panthers to get all that additional draft capital, plus getting DJ Moore. It looked like it was going to be good. But here's the problem. DJ Moore's wide open, and Justin Fields doesn't fucking throw to him. He just runs. That's the problem.
I was about to say, Justin Fields' problem is not coaching, like he said. It's that he holds the ball for 20 seconds every play and gets sacked.
I mean, there's several times DJ Moore's literally doing this, dude, come on, I'm wide open. And I hate it because I got DJ Moore on my team. So I'm like, come on. So DJ Moore's staying on the bench, but it's not his fault.
I mean, that's 12 losses in a row, I think, for the Bears. So,
yep.
And it'll probably keep going. I hope that they lose out the whole season.
Then they get the first overall pick 2 years in a row.
And then trade it away.
They might get the first and second overall pick with the way the Panthers are playing, too.
Yeah.
And then they basically be doing the same thing the Jags did a couple years ago, because they had 2 back-to-back first-round pick, or the first overall pick, so who knows what they'll look like, especially with all the quarterbacks coming into this next draft. Maybe they end up looking for one, but they obviously have a lot more needs than just that.
I fucking hope we scoop up a quarterback in the draft next year. I love Geno, but we need a quarterback. We need a young quarterback.
We also just don't know what these teams are going to look like in 3 months. We're at the very beginning of the season. Every team has played 2 games except for the 49ers and the Giants at this point. So we don't know what these teams are going to look like. Teams can make adjustments, and they can be for the better or for the worse. We don't know.
I actually can see the future, so I do know.
Okay.
I'm not gonna share with
Who's
you.
winning the Super Bowl though?
I already fucking told you all the Jaguars.
No, you said they were going to go to the Super
That's
Bowl.
true,
You
I
didn't say
did.
they were going to win.
Well,
So who's going to beat them?
NFC team. I mean, probably the 49ers. Let's be honest.
I could see it actually.
It's a good pick.
Not the non-meme answer. 49ers, Jaguars.
Yeah.
I could actually believe that being a Super Bowl. Honestly,
It could be.
Oh,
The Jags
oh,
do
no,
look pretty good.
But they got a lot of holes. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
But like you said, it's only week 3, so
yeah.
teams will develop more holes as the season goes on with injuries and shit. So
Speaking of teams having holes and injuries, the Browns signed Kareem Hunt to a 1-year deal, worth $4 million, because they no longer have Nick Chubb. 90-degree angle, the wrong direction. Dislocated his knee, probably tore some ligaments in his knee. He's out for the rest of the season. If you haven't seen the injury and you want to, viewer discretion is advised.
Yes,
it is very,
definitely.
very graphic. It made me cringe whenever I saw it.
You know, the biggest sign for me was because, of course, you couldn't see it really in the actual like.
When the play happened,
when the play happened, you couldn't tell anything was going on. But then you saw, or you heard the Steelers fans reacting to seeing it on like their jumbotron, and it was like they were all cringing and just like, "Oh God."
Yeah.
And it looks, he had basically had the same injury when he was in college, and it looks worse than that somehow.
that's what I was going to say.
It was the same knee too.
Yeah. When he was in college, I think he tore all 3 of the main ligaments, and that's probably what happened again. I would not be shocked if he didn't play again.
Yeah, I mean,
he has taken so much damage.
Yeah,
that sucks though. Chubb's so good.
Yeah,
I mean, he was in the league. I
mean, he was projected to be a top 3 running back this year, and he was on his way to doing it too. He had a great season up until that happened. I know it was only like a game and a half, but he was still doing very well. And we'll get into more of how that affected my fantasy team because he was on my team when we get to that portion of the podcast. But before we get to that, we have some other injuries to bring up before we get into our picks. Because these are all like season ending or missing a lot of time. We'll start with Saints running back Jamal Williams is expected to miss some time with a hamstring injury. Is what I saw. Not really sure how long he's going to miss. He's going to be out for several weeks, it looks like, to recoup from that. Probably 3 to 5 weeks, I would say, is usually what a hamstring injury comes out to. And you don't want to play him earlier than that because it's one of those things that can linger. It can, hinder your performance and gets re-aggravated really easily. So it's going to be interesting after this week to see who gets the workload at the Saints because Alvin Kamara is on his last suspended game this week. So who is their other running back? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I was about to say, I don't know who their RB3 is because he's going to be the one playing. And that did come into play when picking this game this week for the Saints. So
yeah, and Kamara's suspension couldn't have come to an end at a better time. The Saints had to play without one of their star running backs for 1 game, but it's better than having to play 3 games potentially at the beginning of the season without him. So, that'll be
great because Kamara and fucking Williams, like as a fucking almost, I don't know if it's gonna be committee back, obviously, but just the combo of those two is a phenomenal combo.
That's gonna be one of the best running back combos in the league. I mean, as long as Kamara is still, the Alvin Kamara that we hope that he will be.
He is because I've been holding on to him on my bench.
I think that the starter is going to be Tony Jones Jr.
That's it.
I remember that name now.
They have a bunch of running backs on their roster, but that's the one that stands out the most, so it's got to be him.
And he had a couple touchdowns in their last game, so
I'm sure they picked up somebody off their practice squad too.
I think they did.
On there.
I think they did. I think I saw something about it.
They have to.
They also have Taysom Hill's running back, so
true.
Old Taysom Hill, Mr. Versatile himself. So
yeah. Let's see. We can move on to the next one now. Panthers linebacker Shaw Thompson, Shaq. I don't know why it says Shaw. Shaq Thompson suffered a fractured fibula and will likely miss the remainder of the season. I think the only caveat to him not missing the rest of the season is if the Panthers make the playoffs. Otherwise, he'll probably sit out.
That's not happening.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, no, I don't either. But I think that is the one caveat why they didn't just outright say out for the season. So, regardless, huge blow to the Panthers defense. He's the heart and soul of that defense right now. So someone else had to pick up all that slack. And then I got two more injuries that are out for the season injuries. Both are corners. The first one is Lions cornerback CJ Gardner-Johnson. Suffered a torn pec, and he's out for the season with that. Huge blow to the Lions secondary. We thought this might be one of the Lions' slight chance to, make a playoff run, but with injuries piling up, it's looking dimmer and dimmer at this point.
I don't think it's like the playoffs.
I mean, I think they will make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make it deep into the playoffs.
Probably not, but this is definitely one. Oh, sorry. Very good year for them. I apologize to viewers as well. I'm also watching the Auburn game right now going on, so I'm sorry if I get distracted or say something randomly.
No, you're good.
We're very bad, so we can just continue on with the NFL.
And then the last one I have is probably the biggest injury other than Nick Chubb that has happened this week, which was Cowboys corner Trevon Diggs suffered a torn ACL. Yeah. Obviously, he's out for the season. The Cowboys defense is still going to be great even without him. Their defense is stacked. So I wouldn't, if you have the Cowboys defense in fantasy or anything, don't drop them just because of this. They're still going to get a ton of points pretty much every game, probably.
I mean, just their defensive line enough is going to give you enough points, not even considering the secondary. So,
yeah.
But it does suck for the Cowboys for sure. But I mean, they'll be fine.
I was watching Monday Night Football, and it was around right whenever it happened, and the announcer or the commentators on accident said that Stephon Diggs tore his pec, and I was like, "What?" Fantasy.
I don't think it mentioned he's already played or his team's already played this week, but Saquon Barkley is also out for a while.
Oh yeah, I didn't put that in there because he did play and I forgot about it. So thank you, Ryan. Mm-hmm. He's out with a high ankle sprain, is what I saw. So I mean that's a very lengthy thing to come back from.
He'll probably be 6 to 8 weeks, most likely.
Yeah.
He'll actually be full 100% again.
Yeah.
Guys, we need to realize something. They fixed the injury problem. Remember, in the offseason, they're like, we're going to change special teams, make it even more boring than it already is, and injuries are going to be less. Guess what? That's not true at all. I feel like there's way more injuries right out of the gate. Everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it makes me worry for not only my own team's sake. We've had our fair share of injuries already with the Broncos, but thankfully we have not been hit as hard as teams like the Ravens or the Lions or, any of these other teams that have lost, 3, 4, 5 people for the season already. Or for an extended period of time. I shouldn't say for the season, but regardless, something is going on this year, and it's starting to worry me with how many people are getting hurt.
It's the NFLPA thing with him telling running backs to fake injuries.
Well, I don't think Nick Chubb faked his.
I don't think so either. Not that one.
He's a talented actor if he did, honestly.
His knees are just double jointed. Y'all don't know.
I saw the replay of when Saquon got hurt. I don't think he faked it either. So I think we can clear those two.
It's turf. It's turf. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's turf. And we have talked about that 100 times already, so no need to go into it again.
Of course.
But that is it for the big time injuries that you're out for a long time. We can talk about injuries game by game for someone might be out for just this game, or for just a game. So Steven, I'll turn it over to you.
We doing fantasy now?
Yeah, we can do
Okay.
fantasy.
All right, let me switch screens here. So, right now, everybody is 1-1 except for Matthew, who's 2-0, and I am 0-2. So yeah, I'm having a rough time. I've been dealing with the injury bug real bad, but the first matchup that we got right here is me versus Gavin, and I'm actually happy so far with how it's gone. Just because right now the only players that we have played already is, of course, for the 49ers. I have Kittle, who scored me 16. And then Gavin got, of course, a ton of points with Christian McCaffrey because it's fucking Christian McCaffrey. So, but right now, it doesn't show the percentage on here, I don't think, versus if you look at it on your, on the app. But I think I'm like, it's like a 52-48%.
That's what it is, 52-48.
So I'm pretty happy with that, honestly, given the
And
situation.
that's 52 to Gavin, by the way.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
all you really need is one person to have a huge game, and it flips fantasy so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And are we going to continue doing the thing where we pick who we think's going to win each game?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
I think I'm picking Steven. You have phenomenal matchups this week for your players. Like,
so we didn't really like cover waiver wire last week, and then I don't know if I really want to get into it this week because we all made plenty of changes. But I will address because well, I've had to. So, but the biggest thing right here is Puka Nacua. I picked him up as my first. I was first priority because I suck. And so I got to get Puka Nacua without anybody getting him before me, because I think at least Gavin, Jason, and Matthew, didn't all of y'all put in for him too?
I didn't, because I knew I wasn't going to get him.
Oh, okay.
I did just in case, but I mean, when somebody's averaging 15 receptions a game, why not put away for him for him?
Yeah, and then the other big thing is, so after I did that, Gavin did, me and Gavin were talking, and he was like, oh, I was hoping y'all weren't paying attention, and he was just going to sit there available. I'm like, nope, we're keeping up with it.
It sucks because I was going to pick him up after Ryan said something week 1, and I didn't. And I would have got him, but I fucking waited one extra week, and he had another good week. So
I got him in one of my deeper leagues where it was 10 of us, and so he's been a huge help. I got him after week 1. I started him last week. It was great. This league, I didn't even try to get him just because my team. I don't right now. I've been blessed with only one injury in my team so far, and so I haven't had to really search that much.
Yeah. So before I pick who I think is going to win this game, for you, Steven, I think it comes down to if the Bengals are back to what we thought the Bengals were going to be, you might be in trouble because you have Kyren Williams and Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
So if Kyren Williams has a great game like he's been having, I think you pull this one out. But if the Bengals defense decides to actually show up, I lean to Gavin. But because of how the season has gone so far, I'm going to give it to Steven.
Okay. Thanks.
Even too.
Matthew?
I have no idea. Like I said, it one person can have a 50-point game and it flips everything. So, I don't know.
I'm also looking at Gavin has Isaiah Pacheco in his flex. I don't think that's a good play.
He's also got the Cowboys defense against Arizona, though.
Yeah, the Cowboys defense is 90 points.
Yeah.
I wonder, me looking at it, I would think he would put Jalen Waddle in there as his flex.
Jalen Waddle is questionable with a concussion, I think.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Hey, he's trending towards being out.
Okay, then that's fair. But
if it was me looking at Gavin's bench, I would put George Pickens at flex, but
Pacheco's also questionable right now.
It's also the problem with George Pickens right now is really not his fault. It's the fact that
Kenny Pickett sucks ass.
No, I think even more than that. I think it's their offensive coordinator doesn't know how to call plays.
Pacheco
sucks.
the Steelers' offense does not look good this year so far. I mean, obviously, like I said, it's only 2 weeks. So
it's because Najee Harris is the slowest running back in the entire league. I bet money on him, and he lost me so much. He's horrible.
But
I looked up. Pacheco is a game time decision right now as well, so he's not even guaranteed to play either.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think it's everybody's just you gotta have to put somebody in and hope that they're gonna play.
I will say though, I hate the fact that Eckler is going to miss again this week. Obviously, I decided in our draft, I went for Eckler over Christian McCaffrey just because I was worried about that same problem with McCaffrey, and here we are. It went the other way. So, you know, if I could go back in time, I would obviously switch it up. I did want to get Christian McCaffrey, but I decided against it. Bad decision. So
I think the days of Christian McCaffrey being injury prone are over at this point. I think
that's cursed. Tomorrow injury.
Yeah, he's going to wind up getting hurt tomorrow.
I mean, maybe, and then Gavin will just get fucked over.
He's not going to get hurt tomorrow because he's not playing. First,
no, she didn't get hurt tomorrow.
He's going to get hurt in practice.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to another matchup.
The ones that are not close.
Okay, so let's look at Tyler versus Ryan.
Right now, the app says I have a 58% chance to win, and Tyler's 42. But that one's when nobody's had any players playing.
Yeah.
So,
but
Ryan's team is so stacked. It's not even funny.
Just looking at the teams, Tyler's got Jerome Ford in as RB2. They just signed Kareem Hunt, so how many reps is Jerome Ford really gonna get? And then Steven brought it up before we started recording with Chig being in at tight end. I don't know about that play against the Browns defense.
No.
That Browns defense is nasty.
Yeah,
I mean, their secondary is amazing.
I would pick up somebody off the waiver if I had to put a different tight end in. I know he's got Pat Freiermuth, and he didn't do anything last week.
That's not very often either. Like he's usually a solid tight end, but
yeah. But that being said, both of y'all have like good players on your team, but I have to give it to Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be close.
It's just if we have some of those random busted, like Etienne busted last week.
Go ahead.
I would say it just depends on the people. Only move I have made this entire season so far, like player wise, it was just like between the past 2 weeks, and I picked up the Jaguars defense and moved Deontay Johnson to injured reserve, just because the Jaguars D was a better matchup than the Saints D. But the Saints have good matchups going forward, so I didn't want to drop them. So I had the injured reserve spot, put him there, picked up Jags, and probably dropped them next week and put back the Saints in. So
the only thing I'm seeing that could win Tyler this game is if Kirk Cousins throws mostly to Jordan Addison and kind of
that would obviously fuck me.
it would mess you up so bad.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. Y'all do have every target that Kirk Cousins throws.
We do. It is a Vikings matchup right here. And for me, it's also a flip of a three-sided coin constantly with my flex position. I got Kenneth Walker, T. Higgins, and James Conner. I think all three of them are viable flex options, and they're about equal fucking thing. Last week, actually, T. Higgins went off the most, but that first week he got 0 points, and so then I put James Conner last week. Walker did better. I put Walker the first week. I think James Conner did better. Whoever I put does like the second best out of the fucking group. So, we'll see. I think it's just a luck thing with my flex position. So.
I want to say for my piece, I'm obviously picking Ryan too, but the biggest thing for me that jumps out is like what Matthew said. If Kirk and Jordan Addison keep up what they've been doing, then that could hurt you. But for me, I think it's also the fact, I know Jerome Ford was a very popular pickup across the board for fantasy this week because of Chubb being out. But the thing that I'm concerned about with him this week is he's going up against Tennessee's rushing defense. Our regular defense in whole isn't that great, but the rushing part of it, the defensive line is really good. So I think he'll struggle there.
And I know all y'all three have made the point of with Addison potentially being more of a target as well. Yeah, he's getting looks, but I looked at the fucking average points. Justin Jefferson's still averaging 24 points from Kirk, while Addison's averaging 16. So it's he's getting looks, but not as much as Jefferson.
Something else to think about here in that game between the Vikings and the Chargers, the Chargers defense sucks so incredibly bad. So there is a chance that one of those receivers, or even TJ Hawkinson, goes off for like 3 touchdowns in that game.
I'm hoping Jefferson doesn't have a touchdown this year yet. So he's averaging 24 points. He's got me 24 points the first week, 24.9 the second week, not a single touchdown. He's
That's
averaged
insane.
150 yards plus each game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
150
he-
yards and 10 receptions a game.
Yep.
And the thing is, he's not that far ahead of the second and third place wide receivers in the league because everybody is just getting all these yards after catch this season for some reason.
Because defenses suck this year. There's a handful of
guess.
really good defenses, and then the rest suck.
I mean, he's only like 30 yards ahead of the guy in second, and it's Puka Nacua. So
Yeah, and then Tyreek Hill is next, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it's
Who's-
this season.
wait, Jefferson isn't the first receiver this. He's fourth.
no. Well, maybe in fantasy, I'm saying
Yeah.
receiving yards.
Oh, receiving yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably first. But I'm saying fantasy, he's only fourth because he's got no
Oh
touchdowns.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
It's
think
not
Jordan
like
Addison and TJ Hawkinson both have touchdowns, don't they?
Jordan Addison has a couple touchdowns.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison has 2 touchdowns, one in
Okay.
each game, and Hawkinson has 2 touchdowns in the last game.
Yeah.
They both have 2
Yeah.
touchdowns.
so
I'm just
it's you're playing with a double-edged sword in this game, I think, because of how the y'all's teams stack up against each other, and I think whoever has the sharper side of the sword is going to win.
I think Tyreek Hill doesn't have a great matchup this week against Denver, though. That's also
He's
not
going to
good
be
for Tyreek
he
Hill.
is going to be locked down from Pat Surtain.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too.
that's what happened last time they played. So
Yep.
whenever Tyreek was still in KC. I just want to point this out. I was looking at the stats for the NFL just now, and the difference in rushing is astronomical. Christian McCaffrey is so far ahead of the guy in second. Christian McCaffrey has 353 yards, and Bijan Robinson is second with 180.
Is that 350 including this?
It
Thursday game,
is.
dude? Okay.
It is. But even before this week, McCaffrey had over 260 yards.
Yeah, he was over 100 yards ahead of second place before this game, which is insane to me. And
Yeah.
Steven, your pick of Bijan Robinson being a top 5 running back is starting to look up for you.
Hey, I may be wrong about everything else for the entire season, but if I am right about the Bijan bowl prediction, I'll be happy, baby. I'll be happy.
He shit on our defense. It was bad.
Hey,
I
Matthew,
mean, we could not stop him.
you gonna do some research for me while we talk about the next fantasy game?
I got you.
Where is the Patriots scoring offense ranked?
Oh, Lord.
All right.
but-
Go ahead and look that up. Let's move on to the final matchup.
The most
got-
lopsided one.
We've got Jason versus Matthew.
And it is a 60% chance that Matthew wins according to the app.
Oh boy. Well, so the only thing that's happened so far is Darren Waller was a bust. But that really wasn't his.
Not technically. You have to get 7 points less than your projection to be a bust.
Oh, okay.
Was that the official stat? I didn't know that was the official stat.
Yeah.
Yep.
It wasn't Darren Waller's fault. Daniel Jones fucking sucks.
That's
So,
true.
I hate that for Darren Waller.
Jason, to answer your question, it's not looking too good for you right now, surprisingly. They're actually 14th in total
wow.
offense. Yeah,
I'm surprised.
I am too.
Anyway.
I scrolled all the way to the bottom to see where they were at, and I had to go back and look.
Anyway, let's go back to talking about this game.
And then,
One
of course,
more
Matthew
thing,
had
one more
the... Go ahead.
I want to take a guess who the worst offense in the league is right now.
The Bengals.
It is. It's the Bengals.
That's incredible.
That's insane.
That is incredible. Sorry to everybody that took Jamar Chase in the fantasy this year. Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't take him.
Me too.
Yeah. I hate that for Jamar Chase because again, it's not really his fault. It's mostly Burrow's fault. So anyway, let's back to this. So yeah, the only players that have played. So for Jason, Darren Waller played in Thursday night, and then for Matthew, the 49ers defense, of course, played. So
And
right
Debo.
now, is Aaron Jones listed to play?
He's leaning towards active.
That's good for my other fantasy because I'm
Good for
desperate. I have opposite problems in this league. I've got a stacked running back room, and then in my other league, I have a stacked wide receiver room and like no running backs because I had Chubb. Of course, I can't use him now, so I need Aaron Jones to play for me in that one.
yes, I have Aaron Jones and I want him to play because of fantasy. I really just want him to play because our offense runs so much better when he plays. I mean, it was astronomical difference from week 1 to week 2 with him not on the field.
One thing I've also noticed is Jake Elliott so far has been doing really well in fantasy.
Yeah.
So Jake Elliott's a good kicker for sure this year. I mean, I'm gonna go with the percentage here. I'm gonna lean towards Matthew.
I'm picking Matthew mainly because Jason's like big player supposedly is Jamar Chase, but he's just been a fucking dud this year so far.
I forgot to mention
CeeDee Lamb could go crazy.
Yeah, I totally forgot to mention that Debo also played for you. I just realized. So you had 2 players, and he played amazing.
Yeah,
as he always does.
The best part about the defense was that they got a bullshit pick 6 with like 2 minutes left in the game, so I got an extra 2 points.
The thing I worry about on Jason's too is CeeDee Lamb. I think he's really good. We know that, but I'm worried he's not going to be out there that much because I feel like this against Arizona, Dallas might get some defensive scores.
So. Y'all are also, I think we're all, not just y'all, but all of us are discounting how well Arizona has played this year.
They are really better than I thought they would be, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But the defense is still really bad.
But remember, we have to hound them because they are, once again, our podcast's least favorite team.
So. Yeah. I'm saying that because I don't think they're going to turn the ball over as much as we're thinking they are. They are going to probably have a couple. Let's be honest with that. But they're not going to. I don't think they're going to have like 5 turnovers like the Giants did.
They really have like their offenses run pretty smooth. It's just they can't make stops. That's what it seems to be the problem. So,
but that being said, I have no issue with y'all picking Matthew because it's just such a lopsided matchup.
Yeah. You have a good team, too. It's just one of those, it's like, you know.
Everyone's been a bust for me this year.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody except for CeeDee Lamb so far has been a bust.
And Keenan Allen, you haven't played him except for this week, I think.
I'm playing him this week because the Vikings defense also sucks like the Chargers defense does.
I did try to make a trade with Jason for CeeDee Lamb, and he's like, "Fuck you." What are you talking about?
The CeeDee Lamb has been very solid for me the first 2 weeks, so I gotta hold on to something.
Well, I was gonna say the only thing you have to think about with Keenan Allen and the Vikings defense was the run game, but since they don't have Austin Eckler, they probably won't be running as much.
Yeah. I'm gonna lose this week, and that's okay. 1 and 2 is not something you can't come back from, so it's whatever.
All right, well, that's it for fantasy. So, hopefully, I end up getting a win because if I go winless, if I go to 0-3, that's a big hole to climb out of for sure. So, especially, I don't want to have to buy a Trevor Lawrence jersey. I don't want to do it. So, all right. Let's you guys ready to move on to our picks for week 3?
Let's do it.
All right, so as usual, everybody, when we're doing our week 3 picks, we'll cover each game, and we've already made our picks, and we're gonna go over them. And then before we do that, we're gonna do stats, and then we're also going to do the Thursday night football game for next week because of when we record. Or actually, never mind. Yeah, we're still gonna do it that way. All right, so let's move on to, let me switch to our first slide. So let's look at our first stat slide. So, there wasn't really that many bad picks. There was really only one game that was a blowout this week. There was one other that I didn't think about with the Buccaneers-Bears, but I decided to just include, for the worst pick of the week, both Tyler and Matthew both picked the Raiders against the Bills, and they lost 38-10. So,
yeah, the Bills. Go ahead.
I don't know. I didn't keep up with what my picks were this week, but I think I did really bad. I
guess you'll find out on the.
You did. I think you're in the middle, so I wouldn't worry too much. It was actually pretty close between everybody this week because there were a lot of sweeps this last week.
Hey, I'm doing better than last year. That's all I care about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Bills looked like the Bills we thought they were going to look like this past week.
Yeah. And I felt the same way about them as I felt about the Chiefs, that I just couldn't see them going 0-2. I had trouble with that. So, of course, I actually initially picked the Raiders I had Jason
Me too.
change my pick like an hour before y'all recorded. I was in Tennessee, and I was like, "Hey, change this, please."
Yeah, no, I also swapped my pick that day. So
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the next slide. So, I went through. So we had a lot of sweeps this last week, but then we also had a bunch of them that it was 5 people went one way and 1 outlier. So we had several outliers win. So you were right, we were wrong, and you see Ryan's on there 3 times.
Yeah,
Of course.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ryan.
But so yeah, I watched. Obviously, I wasn't here last week, but I watched it on my drive home from Huntsville last week, and y'all were basically saying how crazy I was for picking all 3 of these fucking games the way I did, and at the time, all 3 of those teams that won were losing. I was like, yeah, y'all are fucking right. And then like last fucking second, all of these games, the Seahawks, Falcons, and like Steelers came back and won it, and it was just I was so fucking happy. I've never been more giddy. Let me tell you that.
So I want to say. Both really the biggest ones was the Steelers and the Falcons because the Packers fucking blew it. They fucking blew it.
Yeah,
so
they
bad.
fucking did.
And the Browns.
Wait a minute. You think the Packers blew it? What about the Broncos? We were up 21-3 at one point.
That's
lost.
Well, we're just talking about the ones on here though.
We
so
were
on there.
yeah.
It
is on there. My
Yeah,
bad. I forgot about Matthew.
What was it?
My bad.
We were up 24 to. I think it was 24-3, or maybe it was 24-10. They went on like a 13-0 run at the end of the game to win. So
I love. That's
Go
a
ahead.
side note. I just love the imagery of the Steven and Jason sheep right between their asses. It's like y'all
Yes.
both cheating on me. Is what it looks like.
Why-
Even though
why
I picked
this-
my team correctly.
why are y'all sheep?
Because we went with the herd. We didn't
I
ever
got it,
go
Steven.
one off. Yeah.
I got it. It was fucking great, Steven.
Yeah. But yes, obviously, yeah, the Broncos blew it, the Packers blew it, and then really for the Steelers, it wasn't like their offense didn't look good. It was really just the Steelers getting, 2 defensive scores? So, because they had a scoop and score, and I think they also had a pick 6, if I remember correctly.
And
it was
Chubb didn't get to finish the game either, so.
Yeah, and so
If
everything
Chubb finished that game, it was Browns all the way. He was running all over them at the start of the game.
Yeah, and then just Deshaun Watson was just fucking blowing it for him. Like that was the biggest thing at that point. But all right,
The funniest thing, the funny part of this is, I touched on it last week as well. Obviously, for the Seahawks-Lions game, in my head, I fully thought the Lions were going to win, but I fucking said the first week, I'm never going to pick against my team even if they're doing absolute shit, and I didn't want to immediately fucking go back on what I said, so I said, well, I still have to fucking pick the Seahawks this week, even though they're probably going to lose, and they fucking won, so it was just like a double whammy for me.
Yeah, speaking of picking against your own team, I finally did this last week, and they fucking won. So I guess I had to break the seal, because I picked them so many times last year, and they went on a fucking 8-game losing streak. And so I finally broke the seal, switched it up, and then they finally win. So, as I told Jason and Matthew the other day, I felt like the biggest fucking loser of all time this week. Even though my team won, I still felt like a loser. So, but yeah. So that's that one. So now let's move on to the stats slide. So for week 2, Gavin and Ryan tied 11 of 16 for 69%.
69.
And then I put this should be a 3. Hold on. There we go. Because me and Jason tied 10 of 16, 63%, and then Tyler's in 5th. And then Matthew was in 6th, so you were right. I was
he
thinking
was
about
not.
Oh.
He wasn't first.
Back
I
to
was
the old
I was,
ways of going 50%.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
quit the podcast.
No, that's my bad. I was thinking about your overall. is what I
Overall,
was
you're not in
thinking
the
of.
bottom.
Yeah, overall, I think you're near the top actually.
Even so, there's 3 games between fucking me
Yeah.
and Gavin and Matthew, so it's like we were all really close this week.
Yeah. So this was a good week because, like I said, mostly everybody kind of stuck together. There were a couple one-offs that went a different way, but overall, there wasn't a lot of room for the scores to really spread out at this point. So
I deserve an award for being the most mid picker of all time.
All right, let's look at the overall now. So our overall stats. So we've got Gavin is already trying to run away with it.
He's got this in the bag already. There's no way.
76%, and then
He's
Matthew
only 4
and
games
Ryan.
ahead.
Yeah, it's not that much. It's still.
He's got so much more football knowledge than we do. We can't.
It's just picking games. You can't have knowledge on what a team is gonna do.
Apparently, you can. Go look at Gavin.
He's 4 games ahead.
It was just because his week one, he was just so far ahead. That was really it. And then he just held up pretty much for this week. But yeah, so Ryan moved up, tying for second with Matthew. And then I stayed the same in fourth place where I belong, I guess. And then then Tyler moved down. Tyler was tied with Jason at 5, and now he's in 6th. So, yeah, that's it. So that's what our stats look like.
I love this so much more than how we had to just explain it last season.
Steven, go back to the previous slide real quick.
The week 2 stats.
All right, never mind. You can go to the next one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Go to the next one.
No, we're good. I'm sorry. I was just being stupid. I thought the math was the mathing, but the math was mathing. You're good.
Okay. Don't make me worry about my stats now.
You're good. It looks great,
right.
buddy.
Oh, thanks. All right, so let's move on to our first game of the week.
That's wild to me.
I like it. It's like the fucking if they slay me, I'm gonna pick them from now on type of thing, Matthew. It's like they beat your ass last week, or they beat your ass, but they beat.
It wasn't even that. It was just that I think the Falcons are a better team than the Lions are. I don't think the Lions are going to be able to stop Bijan Robinson.
So I will say I was torn on this game. I was not expecting it to be a 5-1 split like that. I figured it was probably going to be a 3-3. So I was surprised by this, but I ended up going with home team advantage here for me. So that's why I want the Lions. But...
Yeah, I think Lions going to go revenge game. They just lost at home, and they had the whole the ski mask thing, and they were all excited to fucking beat the Seahawks, and they lost at home. So they're going to have a revenge game against Falcons.
But they also just lost their best corner. So
yeah.
You got to be careful with being cocky. I mean, we saw what happened with the Bengals and Chiefs last year. So,
and the Falcons are probably pretty cocky right now because they haven't lost yet, and they're going into up to Detroit.
I don't think they're cocky. Arthur Smith is a fucking genius at calling plays. It's unbelievable. Like, he has the biggest set of balls on any man. He went 4th and 4 and decided instead of just running it up the middle, he took and just little pitch out, and Bijan walked in for the first down, and they won off of it. So,
I mean, when you got Bijan, you got
still to put that
much
trust in a rookie running back is crazy.
Yes, that's true. And then we also got to remember they have a great backup in Algier, so they've got 2 great RBs.
He is the most physical runner I might have ever watched outside of Derrick Henry. He does not try and dodge anybody. It is north and south. He's running whoever over is in front of him.
See, I said, and this goes back to, of course, my bold prediction at the beginning of the year with Bijan Robinson. But, I really did want to get Bijan, but Ryan beat me to him in the draft. So I ended up going Derrick Henry instead, which is still good, but, I really wanted Bijan. So let's move on to the next one. Switch back. There we go. The Chargers at the Vikings. What are we thinking there? So it's a 3v3.
I mean, Vikings are 0-2, right?
Both of them are, I'm for sure.
Yes, yeah.
I think this is another thing where it's like I think I pick the Vikings every week, and they haven't won yet, so they have to win this week. It's gonna,
That's a great way of looking at it.
Third time's the charm.
My whole reasoning was that both of these teams are really bad, and I just don't like the Vikings, so I was like, let me pick the Chargers.
The Vikings' offense isn't really bad, though. It's just they just fall apart, can't win games.
Yeah, well, the defense is just atrocious.
Yeah, their defense is shit, but their offense is just so fucking. I think their offense is amazing. So
I'm picking the Chargers on this one because their offense has been so high scoring this year. I did see a thing saying that they're the first team to ever score 50 points in their first 2 games and go 0-2.
I saw that. I tried to send it into Discord, but it never sent. But
and I just want to point out the Broncos have scored 49 points this year and they're 0-2.
I just think for me it's a lot to do with I think the Vikings just are not going to be able to stop the Chargers, and I feel like the Chargers are going to be able to do a little bit more to stop the Vikings for some reason. I don't know why. I just think it's going to be close though. I think it's going to be a close scoring game.
One thing we didn't bring up earlier that happened, the Vikings did trade for Cam Akers, so now they have a actually talented running back on their roster.
Do you think they play Cam Akers this week, or do they actually still have?
I don't think they'll
play Madison.
I don't think they have a choice but to play Akers. Madison is not getting it done.
All right.
They might share carries, but Akers most likely will play this weekend.
Yeah, I just think since he hadn't been there long enough, I don't know how familiar he is with their schemes and shit like that. So
look, if Baker can come in within like 14 hours and play a game in Temp or in the wherever he went, I can't even remember what team he played for at that point.
The Rams, when he the Amazon Prime quarterback, as we called him. Yeah, that's Baker Mayfield, who's a fuck it we ball kind of quarterback.
That's true.
I don't know if that applies to Cam Akers as a running back, but. All right, let's move on to the next one. So we have another outlier game right here.
I mean, who's surprised?
Tyler hates the Packers, man.
I know. It's like even when we were sitting there watching the games that Sunday, and I think Ryan asked you and him, since y'all team wasn't playing anymore, he was like, "Who are y'all going for now? Who's the team you want to win the most?" And Tyler said the Bears. Fuck you.
So, but yes, Saints at the Packers. We've got Tyler went with the Saints, and then everyone else went with the Packers. I know the Falcons won last week against the Packers, but I do think the Falcons are pretty good based on what we've seen so far. So
they have a great team this year. I wanted to hate on them, but they have a really good shot to win the NFC North NFC South this season.
I think for me, a lot of it has to do with I was kind of torn on this at first, but with Jamal Williams being out too, Saints being on RB3, and we still don't know exactly how comfortable Derek Carr is in his situation. I just feel like Jordan Love just is going to be the better quarterback.
And I mean, the fucking they didn't beat the Panthers by that much last week at all, did they?
No.
I'm saying the Panthers are not very good. And the Packers barely lost to Falcons, who are pretty good.
And the Titans should have beaten the Saints too. Like it was really close. So yeah, they
obviously.
I feel like this has to go Packers.
Bias wise, I would love the Saints to win because they're like one of my top 5 teams, and I don't like the Packers. But
the things that worry me the most about this game is that Lucas Van Ness is still questionable. Jair Alexander is questionable.
Ooh,
and David Bakhtiari is questionable. Yeah. I don't know why Jair Alexander is questionable. He didn't get hurt during the game. I don't know what it actually is. It doesn't say either. But
who are you asking about?
Jair Alexander.
His back.
Because he's carrying the whole defense.
Pretty much.
His back hurts.
But that sounds like they set that shit up.
But the script writers are back already. They're already coming up with shit.
The deciding factors is that the Saints are on their running back 3. The Packers run defense is awful. I've said it so many times, but they're horrible. I don't know why we keep getting people to stop the run. It's Joe Barry's fault. I'm going to keep blaming him. I even signed a petition last week to get him fired. But David Bakhtiari is apparently going to be questionable all year, according to Matt LaFleur. He's just, whether he plays or not, he's going to be questionable. That's just, he's old. He needs to go ahead and retire. But I think we got a good chance. Last week broke my heart. It was horrible. It ruined my entire day.
I just think
Matthew was mad.
Yeah, he was mad.
We should not have lost that game.
I picked the Packers because I just think they're the better team. That's what it just came down to. I think the better team.
Jordan Love is the answer. I just want to add that. But we can go on to the next game.
All right, let's move on to the next slide. We got our sweep right here, y'all. Yeah. We got the Texans at the Jaguars.
Oh, there's not much.
I'm honestly shocked. The Texans have not been doing that bad. Like they are 0-2, but C.J. Stroud is a top 5 quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah, but
which
the
is
Jags are
crazy.
quite good this year, and it's at
Yeah.
Jags. It's at Jacksonville, and Jacksonville fans, they come out in droves.
It's
There's
also
so
a
many of them.
division rivalry. Anything could happen in this game, and I really see the Texans taking it. But I was torn between this game. I didn't know who I was going to pick.
The Jaguars are a better team. It was easy for me.
I do think it is funny in this picture of the stadium, Steven. Like Jacksonville's known for not having the biggest fan base, and this picture does it justice. This fucking game going on, like you can see so many empty seats in that stadium.
Hey, had to go with the best looking picture. So
you can see that's like 10 minutes up in the third quarter. This is like mid game, and there's that many empty seats.
And they're winning 18-0.
18-0. It's like God.
They're also playing the Jets, and this was probably years ago when the Jets still sucked. So
still, when you're the Jags and you're winning a game by that much, you fucking stay because you're an awful team too. That's a few years ago.
Look, you never
That's
know.
true.
This could have been a preseason game.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a preseason game. It might be a preseason game.
I mean, there's no telling.
No,
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, it's the Panthers that I really just absolutely burned because I think for my stadium picture for the Panthers, it's like there's barely anybody in that stadium.
While we continue on, I'm gonna do some research and find out which game this is.
Okay. All right, so let's. For me, it was just. I think the Jags are really good. I think it could really go either way because, like Matthew said, it's division rival. But I just had to go with the Jags here.
C.J. Stroud is starting to really heat up with Nico Collins, so I don't know. We'll see.
All right, let's move on to another sweep. We've got the Broncos at the Dolphins. We see, once again, Jason picked against his own team.
Or
Jason,
did I, Steven? I'm moving my pick to the Broncos. I'm sitting here looking at the injury list for the Dolphins, and it is hefty.
Okay,
I don't see it.
The injury list for the Dolphins is quite hefty. And even if these players are in the game, they are going to not be at 100% with all these different injuries.
Okay.
Such as Teron Armstead is questionable with a back, ankle, and knee injury.
I don't think he's played yet this season.
He's been out anyway, and they've still looked good, though, even without Teron Armstead. Because I thought about that, too, but he wasn't there last week either. So,
but Jalen Waddle is trending to not play, so we're only going to have to worry about one scary receiver, and we have Pat Surtain to cover him. So, I don't know. I have a gut feeling that Sean Payton is going to figure something out, and if they don't figure it out this week and the defense is still bad, he's going to fire Vance Joseph. So,
I mean, I would like to see the Broncos win just to make fun of Gavin because his team got beat by the Broncos.
It'd be funnier if he was actually at the game, though. Too. He goes to another game where his team loses.
God.
He's like 0 for like 3 or 4 now.
I'm so glad I didn't actually go through with it and go to the Packers-Falcons game last week because I would have had to drive home from Atlanta pissed off the whole time.
All right. Well, does anybody else want to change or just Jason?
No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay. All right. Now we got another outlier, which this didn't surprise me at all. We've got the Titans at the Broncos. I was actually surprised at there being so many people at the Titans, though.
You said the Broncos are playing a doubleheader?
God damn it. Titans at Browns. Why is it I always do that? Titans at Browns.
Yeah, I'm going from Miami to Cleveland.
All right. Titans at the Browns. Got it. Starting with BRO. I fucking hate it. Throws me off. But everybody went with the Titans except for Matthew went with the Browns. So I'm shocked too.
The Browns are nothing without Chubb.
They are still an okay team. What are the Titans?
I'm wondering that too. What are we?
They still have Derrick Henry. Each of these teams was just the running backs. Titans still have theirs. Browns don't.
I think
Henry has done almost nothing this season.
I think both teams are going to struggle to run the ball this game. I do think that because I think the Titans are, if you look in fantasy, I think they're ranked number 1 for rushing defense, if I'm correct on that. And they're not. It's not Chubb. It's Jerome Ford probably, or Kareem Hunt. I don't know. But I think both teams are going to struggle to run the ball because the Browns has also got, the Browns have got a decent defensive line too. So this was more of a, I'm definitely going to pick the Titans because it's my team, because I just hate that I picked against them, and I'd hate to pick them twice or pick against them twice and they win both times. So
I think Myles Garrett's gonna have a field day on Ryan Tannehill.
another big thing to consider is Peter Skoronski, the left guard / left tackle that we got in the first round of the draft, is probably not going to play. So
He is out.
Yeah,
and that is where Myles Garrett will be coming from.
The offensive line is going to get beat up. So I personally, I think this could, I could see the Titans winning this game, but this is going to be kind of an ugly game, I think.
Yeah. What I think it's going to come down to is the Browns getting a lot of pressure on Ryan Tannehill and making him force throws, force turnovers.
I will say Tannehill surprised me last week. That's part of why I picked the Chargers, is because I was like, I'm not going to pick Titans again unless I see more from Tannehill, and he looked pretty decent, so I'm just like, we'll see. But yes, if he's pressured, don't just always try to force it to DeAndre Hopkins. That's what I'm worried about. If he tries to do that shit again, it's not going to work.
Last week he didn't. They must have said something. They must have fixed it, because he didn't. He barely targeted DeAndre Hopkins last week.
No, he got him on a few critical third downs, but mostly Traylon Burks and Chigakonkwo got a lot of the carries.
I think that'll end up being most of the year is him being more of a third down receiver, because he's just him.
Yeah. All right. You know anything else, or go ahead.
No, going back to the Jags game, I'm pretty sure it was a preseason game. Can you go back to the score again? It was 18-0?
Yeah.
Where are we?
If it's 18-0, then unless it was pre 2005, it wasn't, which has definitely not a picture from earlier than that. Then that was a preseason game, because the Jets and Jags have never had that score at third quarter in the past 20 years. Sorry, sidetrack. I wanted to see if I could, make sure you get good information. So this is a preseason, so I'll give that to Jacksonville. It's preseason. It's not going to be as filled as much.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next slide. We've got the Bills playing at the Commanders. I'm not surprised by any of this either. I think the Commanders look pretty good, but I still had to go with the Bills here.
And the Bills look better, a lot better. They look back to actual good Bills, so I don't think Commanders have a chance.
I'm gonna pick the Commanders until they lose. That's just. I'm just gonna. I picked them to win the division, so I've got to keep riding with them.
I don't have much to say about this game. I'm not surprised Matthew picked them, and I'm not surprised Tyler picked against Josh Allen, because he's a certified hater.
Tyler hates everybody who doesn't play for the Titans.
Pretty much. Or the Bears.
Yeah.
All right. And next slide, we got the Colts playing at the Ravens. I almost was tempted, even with Anthony Richardson being out, I was almost tempted to switch my pick, just because of the Ravens just getting absolutely destroyed with injuries. But I'm still going to stick with the Ravens.
If Anthony Richardson's not playing, I don't trust Gardner Minshew to come out there and actually do anything. And they don't have Jonathan Taylor, so their whole backfield's gone.
Yeah, both of these teams are dealing with injuries right now that's greatly affecting them, and they just, I don't know. But I'm not surprised this is a sweep. Y'all got anything else to add, or y'all want to move on?
I'm gonna throw it out there that since the Ravens last played, they've had 10 players be ruled out for this game.
Gosh.
And see, we thought with J.K. Dobbins that was going to hurt them really bad, but then they still did pretty well this last week. I don't remember who they played. I'm totally blanking on who they played.
I don't remember either. I I'm gonna just throw some names out there of people who are out for them. So, they've got Ronnie Stanley out, Tyler Linderbaum out, Marlon Humphrey is out, Justice Hill is out, Odell Beckham Jr. is out, Marcus Williams is out. I'm tempted to go with the Colts because of how many injuries they have, but I'm gonna stick with the Ravens. I would not be surprised if the Colts win though.
Yeah, me neither.
Hey, maybe Minshew Mania comes out there and balls out, but
Because the Colts do not have nearly as many injuries as the Ravens do.
I feel like the Colts injuries are more significant because it's their starting quarterback and their starting running back. Like I get that OBJ's out and J.K. Dobbins is out, but without your field general at quarterback, it's so much harder to run your offense.
Speaking of OBJ, I just think about the fact that it was so hyped up this offseason, like, where's he going to go? And now he's at the Ravens, and no one's been talking about him whatsoever.
Nope, what a shock.
So,
almost like he's out of his prime, and he's not going to do anything the rest of his career.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We got a 3v3 right now for Patriots at the New York Jets, or New Jersey Jets, as I prefer to call them.
Mm.
I feel good siding with Ryan.
Oh, well, thanks.
I feel good siding with Gavin.
I'm about to say, I've been paying attention. This is the first time I've gone against Gavin in a pick, and I'm worrisome about that, but I'm gonna keep it.
I just don't believe in Zach Wilson, and the fact that they're not utilizing Breece Hall like they should be worries me. That the Jets, it's the Nathaniel Hackett effect. That's all it is.
Well, Breece Hall's also not 100% right now. He did say, I did see in an interview 2 days ago, I think, he did say he's almost back to how he felt last year. So whether they get him into the game like you're talking about and actually utilize him is the question. Because he said he's almost back to full health.
But even then, you still have Zach Wilson as your quarterback.
Zach Wilson he hasn't looked too bad.
I think the Patriots.
I think everybody's hating on him too much.
Nobody's been talking about the Patriots' defense either, and I think they're going to give Zach Wilson a problem. At least the defensive line. That's kind of how I feel about it. But
the Patriots going to be able to score.
That's true. But
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I don't think Bill Belichick is going to go 0-3 to start the season.
I think
Bill Belichick's washed.
I think this will be a certified dirtiest game of the week.
I think I've
got fun to watch.
I've got Sunday ticket. Obviously, we're going to be traveling, but even with Sunday ticket on Multiview, I don't think I would put this on. I'm not going to watch this game. All right, let's move on to the next one. We've got the Panthers at the Seattle Seahawks.
I don't know if I like this because first week, y'all pretty much everybody thinks that Matthew picked Seahawks, and we fucking lost. Then last week, y'all all picked you picked the Lions except for me, and we won. And now you're all picking the Seahawks again. So we're going to lose again because of that.
It's not so
but
much
you're playing the Panthers.
Yeah, it's not so much the Seahawks. It's more the Panthers. And Bryce Young is not playing. It's going to be Andy Dalton. So,
But I'm fully on board, not just because it's my team, but I believe in us. But I will say, injury-wise, we have a decently long list right now of potential injuries. I know we have. Let me pull it up again. This is from yesterday. We have fully out as an offensive tackle Charles Cross and Kobe Bryant, our cornerback. Doubtful, we have Tariq Woolen, our star rookie cornerback from last year, and Will Dissly, one of our tight ends, is really good. And then we have questionable DJ Dallas, Jamal Adams, DK Metcalf, another safety Julian Love, another offensive line Jaron Reed, another safety Quandre Diggs, and another fucking offensive line Phil Haynes. So our offensive line and our fucking secondary are just rife with injuries coming into this week potentially. So I'm worried about that for sure.
But the Panthers are also missing Shaq Thompson now at the linebacker, so you're not going to have to worry about blitzing as much from a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like
our secondary is just so injured right now. Sorry, what do you say, Matthew?
Shaq Thompson is like their only good defensive player. So
I'm just worried. I mean, Andy Dalton, he's elite. I'm worried about him. He's our very injured secondary.
I wouldn't say elite, but
hey, he's got Adam Thielen to throw to.
Yeah.
Even the coach doesn't believe in Adam Thielen anymore. Like the coach was saying that he can't move like he used to. That's so fucked up to talk about him like that.
I will say though, if Andy Dalton comes out and balls out, my question is, I can't remember what's going on with Bryce Young, but if Andy Dalton plays well, do you think they consider playing him next week if Bryce Young's healthy and just play Andy Dalton instead? That's another thing. Bryce Young has not looked good so far at all.
Bryce needs to sit behind a veteran. They shouldn't have thrown him in immediately. I get that they didn't have really a choice, but he got thrown into the fire on a bad team with no person to look up to. Like he at least Jordan Love had Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson had I guess Zach Wilson had Aaron Rodgers too, but and like Jimmy G had Tom Brady. He sat behind. Bryce Young didn't get any of that luxury.
So another example, Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. So I think the problem is it goes to you're the first overall pick. We spent a lot on you. We got to see what you got, I guess, is the way most teams look at it. But yes, that is a problem with that system.
They were hoping he was, it worked out for them really well with Cam Newton back in fucking 2010. They picked him first overall. He fucking balled out for his rookie season, but
yeah, Cam Newton was a lot better of a quarterback than Bryce
Young.
He's
also a freak of nature.
So. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Bryce Young's injury is an ankle injury. This says Bryce Young won't play Sunday in Seattle, but is expected back for Week 4 against Minnesota or Week 5 at Detroit. So he might be out next week too.
I think if Andy Dalton does good this week, they're just going to be safe and for sure sit Bryce Young next week just to let Andy Dalton continue on.
Yeah, they're playing the Vikings defense too, maybe.
That would be the smart thing to do.
I think, seriously, if Andy Dalton does well this week and Bryce Young hasn't been doing well, play him next week when Bryce Young still isn't 100%, at least. And then when it comes to 100%, if Andy Dalton, then have like a decision. Who am I playing?
Yeah.
I think that Bryce Young should just sit the rest of the season and watch Andy Dalton and learn from him. Even though Andy Dalton's not like a amazing quarterback, he's still a veteran quarterback, and he's been around the league for a long time.
He was a solid-ass quarterback back in 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. He's kind of one of those quarterbacks that he's not gonna blow a game for you typically, but he's not anything to really go screaming about. So,
but he knows the whole game of football inside and out. He's been in it for so long. Bryce Young just needs to be sat and learn from him.
All right, well, let's move on. This next slide is gonna make Matthew so mad. We got the Chicago Bears at Kansas City Chiefs, and it was not a swing.
Fucking idiot.
Tyler picked the Chicago Bears. Everyone else, of course, went the Kansas City Chiefs.
I can't. He has to be trolling. There's no way he really thinks the Bears are going to beat them. That's why he's in last in picks, because he's dumb.
Conveniently enough, Tyler was scheduled to be in this fucking recording, and then last second ended up going to the Bama game. Wonder why?
Because he didn't want us to shit on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll find out later. He was actually just working at Target anyway. So
he's just shopping at Target.
This game, last year, I would have said this game would have been about 52-0 Kansas City.
Yeah,
but this year, because Kansas City has struggled immensely on offense, I'm going to say it's going to be 45-0 Kansas City.
I don't know what all equipment they stole, but if they stole like all the oxygen masks and shit, like the Bears are not going to have like anything that they don't have any of their equipment. They lost their defensive coordinator. Justin Fields is looking terrible. Like
they should have stole Justin Fields' contract.
I mean, we'll see how this ages, I guess. But really, I don't see how you could ever pick the Bears here.
It's gonna age like milk. That's how it's gonna age.
Well, no, it'll age well for us. Yeah.
If the Bears win, this would be the best pick Tyler's ever made, honestly.
If the Bears win, I'll probably not watch another game of NFL football this year.
All right, I'm probably just gonna quit the pod.
Don't shake. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. We got another sweep. we got the. I had fun making this, guys.
Yeah.
We have the Dallas Cowboys at the Arizona Cardinals, and obviously we all went Cowboys.
I thought, easiest pick of the week, honestly.
I'm still on that train. The Cowboys defense is the best in the league so far this year. It's crazy how well that they have played as a unit, that I could see them not losing a game for a while because of their defense. Not even, I know Dak is not the guy. We have all figured that out, but he doesn't even have to fucking play.
Yeah.
And they still win.
Just
Also,
think about Micah Parsons in this game. Just, oh my God.
Who did the Cowboys play in the first 2 weeks?
They played the Giants, and then I don't remember who they played last week.
Another bad team.
I'll look it up.
But to say, because they are great this year. They've had a fucking cushy ass schedule so far.
They haven't really been tested yet. That is true, but that defense is still amazing.
I don't know how we didn't remember this, Matthew. They played the Jets.
Oh yeah.
So they played the fucking. They've played the fucking Giants, who went 40-0, or they went 40-0 against some fucking Jets, Aaron Rodgers list, and now the Cardinals. Like, what the fuck is that schedule?
Well, I don't know how me and Jason didn't realize, because we sat there and made the thumbnail of Michael Parsons sweeping the city of New York.
Oh yeah.
Also, next week they play the Patriots.
Oh.
They're gonna fucking get to the playoffs easily just because they have the fucking easiest schedule in the league already.
A Mickey Mouse Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Week 5 Sunday Night Football is gonna be nutty.
What is
49ers at Cowboys.
Oh, that's gonna be a good
That's gonna be a fucking game right there.
game of the year right there, probably.
Or sorry, it's Cowboys at 49ers, not 49ers at Cowboys.
That honestly makes a difference.
I think home team advantage plays a big part into that game for sure.
Anyway, that's 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Shout out to Call of Duty Kellerberg.
That's funny.
All right, this is a game I really don't know on, and I think it's funny that I picked the Steelers. So anyway, it's the Steelers at the Raiders. I kept shitting on the Steelers, and then I picked them for this game. So me and Gavin went with the Steelers, and then everyone else went with the Raiders. So I would love to know why Gavin went Steelers with me. I assume he thinks it's going to be a defensive scoring situation like I do again. I don't think the Steelers' offense is good at all. They do not look good. Najee Harris doesn't look good. Kenny Pickett does not look good. But I think the problem is I don't know if the Raiders are trending. I don't know about Jacoby Myers, and they had a few people out. I don't know how they're looking.
Steven,
I really don't know why I picked them.
You know what?
Steven, I have the injury list pulled up if y'all want to hear it.
Yes, how about the injury list?
The Raiders are Tyree Wilson is questionable. Chandler Jones is out. I don't know if you guys heard about him. He's out with personal reasons indefinitely. So they are down Chandler Jones. Other than that, they have no injuries that are new.
Tyree Wilson is that rookie out of Texas Tech, right?
I think so.
That's it. I'm pretty sure that's who it is.
And then on the other side, Pittsburgh is without. I don't even know who this guy is. Is he new? No, this is his 5th season. They're down a wide receiver, Gunnar Olszewski.
No,
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. He's on their injury report though, and it's new. And then obviously, actually, we didn't even talk about it. But Deontay Johnson is out. He's on IR.
We brought it up on the fantasy part.
Yeah, you brought it up in the fantasy.
Yeah.
And then obviously we brought it up last week when it was me and Matthew with Cam Hayward is on IR.
So Deontay Johnson didn't play last week either. He just got officially put onto IR this past week, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't watch that game. So.
I'm pretty sure he got injured week 1, and then he just was I think I might be wrong on that.
But so for the Raiders, Jacoby Myers is clear to play.
Okay.
So they're gonna have Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams.
I would be tempted to switch based on that, because that was actually part of why I switched, was because Jacoby Myers scored like twice in week 1 and then was out
Yeah.
last week. So that was a big
Broncos
part
had
of
to
it
kill
for
him.
me. But I think I don't feel like changing anything, so I'll just stick with the Steelers, I guess.
I'm also tempted to switch as well, but I'm going to stick with Raiders as well.
The one thing that I think Gavin might have picked them because of, last night when we were playing the game, he was very high on the Steelers defense. So
Yeah, I actually had the Steelers defense to start up with in the draft and everything, and then I ended up dropping them, I think. And especially after them getting 2 defensive scores against the Browns, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. But yeah, so I mean, you got TJ Watt, who's, he's basically, I mean, he isn't quite there yet, I don't think, but he's close to catching up with JJ. So, TJ's.
well, I think, didn't TJ Watt just get the
he got some
franchise
record.
You got the all-time
Yeah.
Steelers sacks.
Yeah.
which is he's in good company with damn Steelers legends.
Yes. So, TJ Watt is the leader of that defense. So, I could see for me, I feel like it could become a defensive battle again. So, I don't know. Let's move on to the next one, though. Oh, there we go. This is an interesting one. At the beginning of the season, I would have never thought that we'd have a 3v3 split on a game like this. But it's the Eagles at the Buccaneers. So Jason, Gavin, and I went with the Eagles, and then Matthew, Ryan, and Tyler went with the Buccaneers.
You know what's great, Steven, is this is a fucking Buccaneers-Eagles game in this picture. Look,
Is
you look
it
at the
really?
fucking tiny scoreboard above the @. I think that's Eagles and Buccaneers.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
so-
How about that?
2019.
I like to see. I mean, the other 3-3 splits I think have been the exact same.
Yeah,
With
I
the
think they
people
were.
who picked.
Where are the other 3?
There's only been one other 3-3 split, and it was the exact same. Yeah. Oh no, it was me.
Oh no, that one's different. Oh, never
That
mind.
one's different. Yeah.
Yeah,
There was no
Matthew and
that-
Gavin are switched.
Matthew's right. There we go. The Jets Patriots. That was the exact same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the exact same picks here. Jets Patriots, and the one we're on.
Okay.
So
Eagles Buccaneers.
Oh, and by the way, this is Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
One of the Monday Night Football games. So.
I think it's so weird they're doing double headers.
I hate it. I
hate it
absolutely
so much.
hate 2 Monday Night Football games.
I'll be
It's
honest.
not good.
I don't hate it because then you get a more option to watch primetime games if you don't have fucking game day pass.
I guess that's true.
I mean, yeah, but it's also the fact that they're running at the same time, and it's like you just have to switch through them. But like, I can still like multi-view them, I guess.
Yeah.
But for me, it doesn't matter because Monday nights I'm at work, so I can't really.
Yeah.
You can't do multi-view on the phone, so. But yeah, this is interesting because I think the thing that is interesting to me about the Buccaneers is that their defense is pretty young, but they do look pretty good.
I think both these teams are like trending in the opposite of what we thought preseason was going to happen. Like Buccaneers are trending a lot better than we thought they were going to be, and Eagles are not doing as well as everybody thought they were going to be this year.
I think the Eagles are starting to step up, though. I think they're kind of finding their step again. But
They probably
Baker's
will. I'm
playing
just
out of
saying,
his
it's
mind
still like
right now.
that phrase right now. I think Buccaneers trending up, Eagles are trending down.
It does help that the Buccaneers are playing at home too. Like
Yeah.
I feel like going to Philly would be really bad for them because
But, I mean,
Philly's scary.
Once again, Tampa Bay is not a huge like home advantage. It has home advantage, obviously, but they don't have fans like Philly,
right.
so it still helps, but not as much.
Baker would have had a field day shit talking the Philly fans, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We've got our other Monday Night Football game. We got a outlier game here. We got the LA Rams at the Cincinnati Bengals. So everybody went Rams except for Ryan, who went Bengals.
Yeah, I'm this is better this week, honestly. Last week I think I had like 5 games where it was just me picking against everybody else.
But
So
three
only
of them hit though. So
Yeah.
I was going to say, mark this one in Ryan's win column already.
I mean, Bengals are winless and it's at home. I feel like they're going to be hungry as shit. I mean, they looked better last week than the first week, obviously. Not hard to do. But, like, I don't know. Rams aren't. Yeah, they beat us. They beat the Seahawks, but once again, they're our kryptonite, and they have these new people we haven't heard about that are on Steven's teams that are doing great, but Bengals just have the fucking higher caliber team, I think.
This is another one that I would never think that it would look like this with our picks before the season started. Because, like, we talked about it, like, the Rams, after they got their Super Bowl, they just got gutted, lost everybody. And then they just happen to have a couple big players that are just, that are blowing up right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I went Rams, just because of those guys. And, God, I would love for the Rams to play good, because that means I can possibly win fantasy this week. But
Go ahead.
I just want to request to go back to the last slide because I'm changing my pick.
Oh.
I did a little bit more extensive research.
All right. Would you like to clarify?
No.
Why? So in case I want to change?
The Eagles' passing defense is 31st in the league.
Oof.
I did see
awful.
That.
And
that's not good.
the Buccaneers' rushing defense is only allowing 54 yards a game.
I thought Steven was about to move his person over.
They moved Gavin's thing over. He's like, I'll be the ultimate Eagles pick.
Gavin, sorry, you're picking the Bucs. No, I feel good about being with Gavin on this, so I'm not gonna change. So, oh, sorry, I didn't even have it on the right slide. There we go. So yeah, so now Jason is on the Buccaneers side, and then it's just me and Gavin now on the Eagles side.
Yeah, sorry I didn't say much during that. While we were talking about it, because I was doing some research. But overall, I'm in agreement with Ryan that the Eagles are on the downtrend, the Bucs are on the uptrend. So,
man, it's like I said, crazy that happened, and then also this game too, the Rams at Bengals. I would have never thought I'd be picking the Rams over the Bengals.
Yeah, honestly, I don't blame any of y'all for picking against the Bengals here because of how they haven't been doing good this season. But I am surprised that it was all 5 of y'all went fucking Rams over Bengals.
You know what? I'm changing my pick on this one too.
There we go.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
About to say,
I told you, Steven, I was going to wind up changing a bunch of my picks.
No, that's fine. That's
it may be very tiny, Steven.
You're
put us right by each other. Now I want to be right beside Jason in the top corner. There we go.
All right. Hold on. Let me just put you up here.
There we go.
All right. Y'all look great. Y'all look
Perfect.
great right there.
That was what I was trying to say a minute ago. Where did Puka Nacua come from? Like, he just burst out of nowhere. Was he undrafted?
I don't know.
Round 5, pick 177.
Oh, so they did draft him. Okay.
Diamond in the rough, though. Picking round 5.
So far, definitely the best pick of the previous draft, I think.
He was from BYU.
Him or Bijan. I mean, but Bijan, we knew he was gonna be good.
Yeah. Everybody said it was a reach, and it's working out for him. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope it works out for me. I need Puka Nacua to do good because that's gonna save me.
I have him in one of my fantasy leagues. I wanted to do good as well, but
yeah,
still think Bengals got it.
All right, let's move on to
Thursday?
sorry, was it?
Yeah, it's the Thursday night, I think.
Yeah, so it was actually Steelers at Raiders is Sunday night football, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? Okay, so that we just forgot to mention that. All right, so Thursday night football, we've got the Lions at the Packers.
You don't have the usual graphics in the middle, Steven. It still looks great.
Yeah, I like I said, I forgot. We talked about it right before, don't you remember?
Oh, that's what you're talking about. I thought you just missed the entire slide. That's what I thought.
No. I just didn't have the graphic in the middle for Thursday Night Football. I'll have it back next week. I just forgot about it.
But say, we're doing another recording tonight, so.
Well, I can probably get them in there before we start.
Guess what, Steven?
You switching?
I'm switching my pick.
Oh shit!
I don't know, Jason.
All right, hold on. Let me make some more room for you.
This game makes me very nervous. The Titans seem to have our number. Yes.
That looks like fucking Tyler Jason could be like cat dog.
Yeah. All right, so now it's a 3v3 split. We've got the Lions with me, Ryan, and Gavin, and then the Packers have Tyler, now Jason as well, and Matthew.
I like how you made your face so much bigger than mine, Steven. You look like a giant. I have a giant head. You made your face look
To be
so
fair,
big.
the picture you sent me, you have like the longest head of all time. It's so hard to figure out.
It's because my hair goes
spacing.
up and my beard goes down, so it makes my hair fucking elongate sometimes.
And like, if you submitted a picture right now, how you are, it would be perfect.
No, I'm here.
All right.
So Jason, why did you change your pick? I'm curious.
It was a gut feeling thing, and the fact that it's at Lambeau and that it's a divisional game. I think y'all are going to split with the Lions this year, and it's going to be the home team wins the games.
That's usually what happens for us. We always split them, it seems.
Yeah, so it's kind of a gut feeling kind of thing.
The only thing that scares me about changing a pick is with this being Thursday night football, it's not technically till next week. So I'm afraid to change anything for those.
That's true. A lot can change, but I'm willing to take the risk.
That's why fair. I hate that we have to double record because nobody knows who's going to get hurt this week.
Yeah, it is what it is, though. We'll deal with it. We're all on the same battlefield, so it'll be all right.
I was going to say if we all have the same information. It's not like somebody has
an advantage,
like foresight.
Ryan said he's from the future though.
Oh yeah, Ryan did say he knows the Super Bowl and everything. So who's going to win this game, Ryan?
Obviously the Lions.
But yeah, so that's it. That's it for our picks. So as usual, we'll keep up with our stats and see how we do through the season. Keep that going, and as he mentioned it, we're doing a double recording today, so we're going to be picking. It won't be for y'all. We'll put it up next week. But we're going to not have any information for next week. So next week's going to be really bad for our averages. So
I hope somebody gets every single game wrong next week.
It'll be
that would be it's harder to get every game wrong than to get every game right.
I know I tried it last season and it didn't work.
Did you start doing better too when you started doing that?
I set a new picture so that you can replace my long head with a more normal sized Ryan head.
Okay, this sounds good. All right. Well, y'all got anything else? Are y'all ready to call it a podcast?
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Hands in. 3, 2, 1, podcast.
That's